It's not only external attacks that can put your company and your company's data at risk. Sometimes the problem exists with your users. That means your company's employees. For TechRepublic and ZDNet, I'm Dan Patterson with Ant Pruitt. And that's not to blame your employees or your executives. Everyone can be a target for hackers. But Ant is going to help us identify some of the biggest targets and biggest threats. Ant, what makes executives and IT staffs some of the biggest targets or biggest threats with cyber attacks?
Well, unfortunately, being in an IT department, you tend to have the attitude of being the super user and the mighty user of all when it comes to the systems. But having that ego can make you quite vulnerable to any type of attack, whether it's social engineering or even just a slip up in setting up a system.
Yeah, so what types of attacks are likely to target these users?
First, you can take a look at social engineering, as these IT professionals are generally dealing with different vendors that are bringing them products to try out or products that need to be implemented into their existing infrastructure. And if you're not paying close attention, you can poke a hole right there into your firewall.
Yeah, so what can you do to defend against these types of social engineering and phishing and attacks that kind of exploit the human?
Just definitely you have to be aware of it. Understand that just because you are in an elevated position inside of the department, it doesn't make you immune to these attacks. Understand what's going on around you. Understand what's going on with your staff as well, because they're just as vulnerable as you are. Educate the team.
I know that you suggest using tact and good communication skills with your team members. What other tips do you have for bolstering cybersecurity internally through every team?
I suggest having at least a monthly or bi-monthly meeting with the team to discuss some of the latest attacks that you've seen in the news and understand how that can relate to you and your organization. And then beyond that, have your team discuss it with the user base, because we all know the user base are just there to do their job. Most of the time, they don't even care about all of the technology that's going on behind the scenes, but they still have to be aware of it. You know, there's a lot of different attacks that can come from things like social media, and one click can take everything down.
All right, you can find Ant's entire story by going to TechRepublic and doing a search for IT personnel and executives worst at security. And while you're on TechRepublic, make sure you check out the ebook section for a ton of different PDF downloads and subscribe to the TechRepublic Cybersecurity newsletter.